So I want to give you guys a background about me. I just want to make sure, can everyone hear me? Cool. Thanks for having me, ETHGlobal, and hello to everyone at home. Thanks for listening in and tuning in. My name is Matt K. I go by Crypto Matt K. A little bit of background about me. I've been in crypto marketing for about 2 years now. I'm a social media manager and a digital community builder. I'm also an AI nerd, and you guys may or may not have seen me around at some of the Ethereum events. I DJ them sometimes. I'm also a core member of the ETH Warsaw team. I run socials for them and help them with their marketing efforts. That's my handles right there, Crypto Matt K. So to give you some background, my path, I started working for Forge. It used to be called Bondly Finance. I've taken their community from about 20,000 followers to 60,000 Twitter followers. In the 6 months that I was there, this was during like the 2021 bull market, we pushed around $5 million in NFT sales. That was about 25,000 NFTs sold at Mint. So that's before secondary market sales. I ran projects for Tory Lanez. It's a rapper, in case anyone doesn't know, Logan Paul and Louis Capaldi. Then I switched over to TrueFi. At TrueFi, I joined the company when they had about 20,000 Twitter followers and grew the account to about 87,000 Twitter followers. When I joined, there was about 3,000 Discord members, and then by the time my time ended there, we were at around 25,000 Discord members. Throughout last year, I also helped bring over 5,000 people to our in-person events that we hosted around the globe. So these are kind of the 3 topics that I want all of you to walk away with understanding. The importance of building community in Web3, one of them being community is a pillar to project success. Community is Web3 marketing, and I'll go into that to kind of give you all an understanding of like how marketing used to be and where we're at now and where we'll be in the future, as well as understanding that persistence is key. A lot of people think that, you come in, community is just built overnight, but the reality is this takes like 3 to 6 months, 9 months to actually like implement and execute like a proper plan. So I want to kind of introduce and start us off with explaining the good. So what does it look like when a good attempt at community happens? So the Logan Paul NFT sale is a very great example. Does anyone know who Logan Paul is in here? Do you guys just want to raise your hand? Let me know. Do you guys know who Logan Paul is? Okay, so this guy clearly, as you guys know, has a very active community online. He's a YouTube influencer. He is like super hype on Pokemon. So during this time, we helped sell NFTs around his Pokemon release launch. And so like he kind of went in and allowed people to come visit him and open the box with him. And they made a bunch of content around that after this sale. So that is what it looks like when community is good and dialed in and there's, proper implementation there. Another one is Tory Lanez. If you guys don't know who Tory Lanez is, he's a rapper, independent music artist out of the US, helped launch an NFT sale where he sold something like 1 million copies of his digital album as an NFT for $1. So in like 90 seconds, he sold over 1 million copies of his digital album, generating like 1 million sales and $1 million of revenue. So what does that mean? He ended up getting like a couple of awards after that. So these are really great examples of what, proper community execution looks like. Now, this stuff is the bad. So this is like the opposite end of the spectrum, right? So as someone that works in community, I've been a community moderator. I've been a community manager. It really sucks to get messages like this. This is during times of low sentiment, during times of low volume. This is when you are engaging with your community, but there's nothing being rolled out from the product and engineering side. This is like when morale is really low and you start to lose faith in what you're doing. As folks in community, I mean, we're all here, and whether you guys realize it or not, ETHGlobal, Ethereum is a community as well. And we're here to kind of help each other grow through these efforts of the hackathon, for instance, right? So this is kind of the negative aspects when, things are down, and it's really tough to get out of this situation. I've been here before. It's not fun. It takes a lot of like grinding and really being persistent and present to show the community that you're not going anywhere, to kind of like dig yourself out of this hole. So this is kind of a slide on, breaking it down, how to build community within Web3. First, you want to define your community. I'll show you guys the spaces model in the next slide, and kind of unpackage that before we go into steps 2, 3, and 4. Here's the spaces model. This is by David Spinks. He's one of like the most well-known creators in the community space, since it became kind of like a thing in Web 2. He kind of put together this spaces model where if you're someone that works in community and you want to show KPIs to your business leaders at your organization, this is the direction that you want to take your program in from the inception. A lot of companies have 1 to 3 of these in their growth implementation models, and you want to kind of prioritize each one of these avenues one at a time, because if you do too much, you have a team that gets burnt out, you can't report proper results, and then it kind of just leaves everyone frustrated and wondering like what went wrong, right? So if you take a look at this slide, this is kind of what the current landscape of community looks like within the spaces model. As organizations implement each one of those layers, you'll see that the top 3 are pretty much support. So that's kind of like customer support. External engagement, those are folks that are actually empowered and confident and have faith in, let's say, the protocol or what the technology is internally, and they help adapt techniques to approach folks that are outside of the organization. Success is that last kind of important pillar that folks lean into from the spaces model, and that kind of shows, you have tried out certain campaigns, you've seen what the results are, and you're tweaking them moving forward to kind of reproduce better results in the future. So we're in Web3. I made this meme. All of you guys are devs. I'm a community guy. I'm a marketing guy. Like, none of y'all want to be approached by targeted ads. Like, that doesn't look good. No one likes that. It's annoying. So you guys can read past that, right? Like, you can just go and check out the code and read through all of the nonsense that the ad is telling you. So, you want to be part of a group that helps foster ecosystem growth, and you have like-minded folks that you could talk to about the technology versus being hit by the ad, right? So moving on, this is kind of like what it looks like from a business perspective, as well as like a user lifestyle perspective on how to implement a community growth plan. And you want to start off by cultivating community through Discord, Telegram, Twitter. As you all know, everyone loves memes. The recent, meme coin season has been out of control, and you guys see how much engagement that produces on socials. That catches your eye. That's a way to kind of sell what you're building as a community within your organization, right? So once you join, once you got kind of pulled in by this outreach, and you're within the system, you kind of you're like, okay, what do I do now? So people need to educate you internally, and they can do that through a light paper. Blogs, videos, AMAs are a great way to foster engagement and education within a community. This helps people kind of sit in a room together like we are today and learn about what the technology is, what your value add is to the ecosystem. Later on, as you get educated and empowered, you kind of enter this adoption curve where more users and builders join the protocol, and then it kind of starts to like have this like that yield curve where you kind of hockey stick up. And that takes time. I mean, this is like, we're talking about months to years now just to get to this adoption curve. Once you get to credibility, you know, that's when you start really focusing on press releases, partnerships with bigger communities. You can bring on influencers during this time, as well as like proper team leadership. So that means hiring folks from, you know, Web2 that are veterans in DeFi, or like, you know, Wall Street veterans for a DeFi protocol, stuff like that. Eventually you get to the build phase, which is, hey, we had V1, that was dope, we crushed it, let's implement V2 and let's execute on this model now. And then you kind of start that cycle all over again, because more and more people start joining, and then you engage with them to push them through the life cycle of a community member. So circling back to the 3 topics that I want y'all to walk away with, ZK Sync. I guess I'll start asking, who knows ZK Sync in here? Are you guys aware? Yeah, so ZK Sync, layer 2, scaling solution, uses zero knowledge proofs to push faster and cheaper transactions, right? They've been really, really, really present as leaders in the space for over a year now, constantly doing spaces on Twitter, constantly doing AMAs on Discord, hosting town halls, pushing product and engineering updates. Now they just launched, I think it was like a month or 2 ago, that they're on mainnet. I'm pretty sure it was last month. And within 30 days, I think it was even like 15 days, they went from 0 to 100 million total value locked within their ZK Sync network. And I mean, that is without a doubt a tail sign of what it looks like when you've been building for months, even years at a time, to have this sort of metric to share with you know, the Ethereum ecosystem. Number 2 that I wanted to point out here is Quai Network. Does anyone in here know Quai? They're relatively new, so I wouldn't be so you do. So smaller percentage of the room knows about Quai, but I met the Quai guys at ETH Denver, and they are an L1 that claims to be pushing like 50,000 transactions per second. So we all know that like L1 competition is very stiff out there. We all know that L1s are, you know, not as popular as they used to be, but Quai is all over the place, and they're present because in their tokenomics model, they've actually built out a portion of their future token airdrop and, you know, token release to be distributed to folks that help them with the marketing efforts for the L1 network. That is something that it hypes people up. It lets people feel, you know, bounded to and invested in something that, you know, is to be in the future. And I've seen Quai's social media engagement, as well as, you know, they have different hashtags for different projects that they're pushing, different efforts. And it's insane to see how the community is so engaged and so active to pound the pavement and like let the world know that Quai Network exists. It's going to be really cool. Keep your eyes out about Quai Network. It's going to be cool to see where they go in like 6 months to 12 months from now when they eventually head over to mainnet. So this is the second pillar that I want. And in my opinion, this is like the most important pillar of this talk, because I want you all to leave understanding that like community is marketing. It's marketing in the sense that, you know, social media is incorporated into this, press is incorporated into this, but also presence. And I think that when folks think about marketing, they initially go to like Web2 marketing and how things were built back in the day where you get hit by targeted ads and newsletters and stuff like that. Nowadays in Web3, we're doing stuff like what I did for TrueFi. This NFT project helped create like 120,000 emails for us. We had about 13,000 people mint this NFT. It took our Twitter followers from like 40,000 to 87,000 Twitter followers, and our Discord grew twice, from 12,000 to like 25,000 members. And so, what I want to ask you guys to think about is like, what did we do with these folks afterwards? I guess I'll like pause here. Like, now that I've spoken about, the kind of implementation model, if you think you mint this NFT and now all of a sudden you have it, like, you're excited about TrueFi, but you don't really know what it is. Like, what do you guys think we did to kind of help foster them and educate them? Does anyone have any ideas? Take like a break here. So it could have been something like doing AMAs with them, pushing blog posts, hosting kind of live events digitally so that they can come in and ask us questions about what we were doing. TrueFi, by the way, is a decentralized lending protocol. And so, the NFT had water flowing in and out of it, and that's kind of like what represented the liquidity that enters and leaves the protocol. So through AMAs and spaces, we were able to educate them on what we were doing. Eventually, we took them through the life cycle, and they became contributing DAO members and token holders. So that's kind of another good lesson learned around community building. Now, this is an NFT project. I know my guy before me was covering NFTs. I think this is a really good example of one of the three kind of legs of a table of community building in Web3. Persistence is key. These guys that are in this NFT project, I see them as like the builders of Web3 right now within the NFT space. These are folks that, may not have made their, financial gains or whatever in Web3 yet, but they're all there tinkering and building and pushing the ecosystem to grow more. I've actually met a lot of other marketing folks and VCs through this community that I'm now doing work with to help, build their portfolios out and kind of scale their marketing efforts up. The reason I add them as the persistence leg here is that they almost died. They went, they had their rise up, and then the NFT market crashed, the crypto market crashed, and they almost went to zero. But through folks like literally just showing up every day and grinding and creating different narratives to show like, hey, we're still here, like, just buy a seal, you coward, is kind of like what they say. But eventually they got the seal of approval from the Ethereum NFT community, and now they're kind of back to like a nice and reasonable, sustainable level. This is another thing, they created this, you guys will see, I'm sure, where a lot of NFT folks, this is my seal, by the way, but they have this meme generator where it pushes unique user assets so that you can kind of create your own content online. And these are some examples of what that looks like. I want to explain, what some tools are for building community in Web3. You guys saw that NFT by TrueFi earlier that I was describing. Galaxy is the organization that helped power that effort. So what we did was we launched the NFT on Galaxy's platform, and through leveraging the two communities, we were able to amplify the noise that we had during that campaign. Zeely is another tool that helps drive growth and engagement. NFT Inspect, if any of y'all are in NFTs, you can use NFT Inspect to kind of compare and contrast different metrics across projects. Quest is kind of similar to Galaxy. Quest and Galaxy, you kind of need to complete, different steps, different credentials to earn the experience that's at the end of the road there. Lens is here. They have a table. Lens, this is pretty much Web3 social media. It's like the Facebook of Web3, I like to say. Then we also have Super Spaces that helps supercharge your Twitter Spaces. And then you all know Discord, Telegram, and Twitter. I would consider those like your base layer tools for building community in Web3. That's where your main communication channels are. Now, food for thought. I kind of want you guys to leave here also understanding, like, we're in this space where we're doing community-based engagement because we're so early. People want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, and that's another reason why we're all here, because we want to build the next best thing and bring that to the Ethereum ecosystem to keep expanding this. The plumbing doesn't exist like it does in Web 2. If you want to go, for instance, and change your euro to dollars on your Revolut or whatever, the button that you press to create that exchange to sell off your euro and buy dollars doesn't exist in Web 3 yet. And that's why we're really clunky, and that's why we haven't really reached mass adoption yet. So I'm curious, and I think you guys all can think about this as you leave this talk, to think, what does the future of Web3 marketing look like? Is it going to be focused primarily on this community building aspect, or will it grow to shrink into a smaller community building aspect where we focus more on user-based marketing because we have all of the elements and, the plumbing required to make it user-friendly versus the way it is right now? Wrapping it up, the three topics that I want you guys to understand from this conversation is community building is a key pillar of growth. Community is Web3 marketing. It is one of the foundational legs of the table that is Web3 marketing. I think without it, you don't have a product or a company, rather. And persistence is key. This doesn't happen overnight. This takes, you have to grind to make this a reality, and you need to have a plan over a 6 to 9 to 12 month kind of period of time in order to see this growth happen. So once again, there's my information. My Twitter is @CryptoMattK. I'm @CryptoMattK on Telegram. And thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate the time. If anyone has questions, mine time is at the top of the hour, but I'd be happy to take yours, sir. So the question is an AI chatbot within your project, I guess? Right. So my thoughts on chatbots are do it. They're only getting better. Transparently, this whole slideshow was made by AI. So, like, I'm a huge advocate for AI. I use ChatGPT for my work almost every day. I use Midjourney to create all the graphics that you guys have seen here. Like, use the bot. You don't have funding like major VC companies do. Like, implement it and use it as a means of, like, creating a funnel for yourself as folks kind of break through that barrier to get to a human. You're saving a lot of time and resources by doing that. So I think in the stage where you're at, I would highly recommend you lean into it. Yep. Anyone else? What's up? So where am I? Transparently, this is my first talk, and I haven't even spoken to Web2. I haven't even thought of doing that. I'd be curious personally to see what that looks like, because it's a completely different conversation. And I think that just thinking about this in real time, like, I would focus on kind of what they're doing and then just explaining to them, like, what this is, what I just explained to you guys, and why it's important in order to create, like, a bridge. There was a talk that I sat in on where we're actually, like, as marketers, looking to withdraw from crypto native, because eventually you're gonna hit a wall, and then you're gonna be like, all right, well, I have as big of a market share as I can. Like, how do I get more users? And that is by going and talking to the Web2 folks. So consider this the beginning of something, and it's going to get fine-tuned as we move forward here. Yeah, man. Any other questions? Sweet. Thanks, guys, so much. I really appreciate the time, and I hope you guys have a great hackathon.